thanks for coming out here, NYC. How you like it out here?
Shit, he's cool.
Yes, man. Live right now, NYC. We here with the Grand Slammer, aka Lil Dubai. So tell the people. Well, let's talk about you first. So tell them who you is, what you about, what you do, all that.
I'm Lil Dubai. I really just like getting money and I just be out the way.
See, you know what I'm saying. A lot of people stress a lot. Well, you stress a lot how you really enjoy money, how you like money. Like, what got you on the money? Like early.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I remember niggas was kids and shit. They wanted shit and couldn't get it.
You know what I'm saying. Well, so how did that come to be? Like what actually like, got you on the money? Just not be able to have stuff like that.
Yeah, that and I saw a lot of people with money and they got all the stuff I wanted, so I just wanted it.
So like, what's your grind with money? Like, how you get money? Are we not speaking of that?
I can tell y'all some of the ways.
Tell us some of the ways.
Some of the ways is through stocks and stuff. And then, yeah, that's all we can talk about.
Okay, you know what I'm saying. You gotta. Sometimes people like to be educated on how to get money. How do you feel about that? Do you want to educate the people, or is it just all to yourself how you make the money?
If I'm cool with you, if you just a cool person, I'll help you. But otherwise, if you was ever hating or anything, can't do nothing for you.
Yeah. So like, what you like really do like on your free time? Like, what's things you like to do?
Yeah, sometimes we be hoping or just plenty bullshit.
You know, I'm on your Instagram. I see you out of town a lot. Like,
Yeah.
What like last places you been?
I was in Miami in July, 4th of July weekend.
I think I tweeted you when you was there.
Yeah. And then I was in Cali in March. I might go again in like 2 weeks.
Okay. Cali, how you like it out there?
Everything cool in Cali. The vibes out there way different than at home.
Right. Yeah, because out here it's it's real busy.
Yeah.
It's different out there. Palm trees. We're not really used to that. We get snow and stuff like that. They don't really get that. So where you grow up at?
I grew up in Wisconsin.
Shit, what part of Wisconsin for the people who don't know?
Well, I lived with my dad and shit, but we was in Wauwatosa, but I was really everywhere.
So Wauwatosa, I'm not really familiar with that. It's just like what side of town is that?
It's like 5 minutes outside Milwaukee.
Okay, so you relatively close to there.
Yeah.
So what's Milwaukee like?
It's crazy.
What you mean by that? Elaborate.
Shit, niggas in Milwaukee just really be hating on each other a lot of the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that everywhere, but you know what I'm saying? Is the city small, city big? How is it?
You talking about Milwaukee?
Yeah, like basically like where you grew up around.
It's like medium size, but the main city is a little bit bigger, but it's not like huge.
Shit. I don't think Madison not bigger than Milwaukee. Milwaukee got 500,000 people.
No, I ain't say it was.
What I'm saying, Milwaukee's the biggest city in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about like the country and shit.
What you mean?
What I say?
You said it's not. It said something about like the bigger city. It ain't no bigger
like
city.
The bigger cities I mean.
Basically, let's get back to the interview. But oh shit, what's another question? Shit. Fuck, what's another question I can ask you? Oh, got it. So I see you. Well, you don't rap, right?
Yeah.
But I see you around a lot of rappers and around a lot of music, but you're not really a rapper. So like, what's your relationship with those people?
Shit, I'm cool with a couple of them.
So who do people usually around? Like, what's like your little section, or do you not have one?
I usually be around that nigga Rugrat and shit. Codeine cool. I be around those sometimes.
So like, what's your take on like the music like in the industry right now?
I know a lot of these niggas personally, so like I don't really fuck around with the niggas that be lying in their songs.
Is that like a big thing from where you from? Do people lie in their songs a lot?
Yeah, a lot of them.
So like, I'm not really familiar with like the Milwaukee area or like Tulsa, whatever you say. I'm not really familiar with that area. How is like the rap there? Like, do people rap there? How's that?
Yeah, they rap a little bit. It was actually one of my niggas and shit had the whole school going crazy off of this.
Also, wait, what high school did you go to?
I went to Wauwatosa West.
Let's back up. So, born in Wauwatosa, 5 minutes outside of Milwaukee. How did you grow? Explain like your upbringing in that city.
Well, it depends, cause I kind of saw both sides and stuff. So I was really just around everything.
So you grew up in so around Milwaukee. Like, what schools did you go to growing up? How was the school in there?
Uh, Shit, I live with my dad and shit. I went to Eisenhower, Redmond, and Tulsa West. It was cool. It was
So what type are
school.
those like rough schools, easy schools, kind of schools
No,
are those?
that shit funny. It's just weak.
What you mean by weak?
Man, it's just like everyone in there just likes doing stuff off what their parents and stuff doing.
So, oh, I mean, I see you really laid back. So, like, how were you growing up in school? Like, what type of person were you in school?
I never really talked to that many people. I kind of just did my own thing.
Right, right. You know, I was on Instagram. A lot of people they don't really know like your race and stuff like that. The people, everybody calling you Mexican and stuff like that. That's the how you got the little Dubai name actually, right? That's how you got the
Yeah.
name. So like clarify to the people like what race are you? What's your ethnicity?
Black, white, and Indian, like the country and shit.
See me, I mean now that you told me I can see Indian in you, but I can see where people getting the Mexican from, like the curly hair and stuff like that. But I see what you mean. So that clears the air for people like that. But so I see like you speak of your dad a lot more than your mom. Like, what's your relationship with your family like that? Because you speak of your dad more than you speak of your mom.
To be honest, I don't really fuck with my family like that at all.
What you mean? You can't. You got. How did you grow up then without family? Like you were you close to them? Like how was that? You got to explain to the people like growing up with your family. Like how did that work out?
No, I wasn't really close with. I was close with my dad a little bit and my grandma. And me and my mama used to not be cool and shit. When I was younger, got into it, kicked me out, but we cool again. Everything good.
So like yeah, give me like a little storyline. So you gave me a short part of it. Give me like the whole storyline growing up. How was it? Like was your parents together at a young age, or like were you guys always split? How exactly did you grow up?
My parents was together probably like 3 months I was born. Then
Also, your parents are divorced.
no, they was never married.
Also, they never married. You okay?
Yeah,
Okay, continue.
so I used to or live with both of them. Then for most of my when I was younger and stuff, I used to live with my dad. But then from time to time, I live with my mom and then take like breaks and shit.
So, at what age was this?
Like 3 to damn near 15.
So you were back and forth from like 3 to 15.
Yeah.
Right now you're 18 going on 19. Where are you staying right now?
Right now, I can't say.
Okay. I know it's for reasons like that
Yeah.
because people, it's just crazy right now in 2019. So like, what is your future plans for right now?
Shit. Right now, I'm trying to get into real estate and shit because that's where the real money at.
I know I see a lot of people with once they get a lot of money, they start to invest in things like that, real estate, which being like one of the most common ones. What made you get into real estate though?
One day I was just on Instagram or the internet or something, and it said 90% of millionaires get all that money off real estate.
That's that's a that's a good investment. Real estate is blowing up. It's really been like a good thing always. Like a lot of like rappers, a lot of people with wealth, money, they all invest in real estate. So outside of real estate, is that going to be like your main source of income, or you just how's that going to come about?
Probably that'd be my main source of income, but then like stocks and other little investments and stuff.
So I see you like you're completely into the legal business, completely.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, stocks, real estate. So you're like really about it with the money and growth. Never really have you ever worked a 9 to 5?
Not for me. I can't work for nobody else.
So what's your thoughts? People who do work a 9 to 5, do you respect them? Like, what is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I respect. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with it. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Yeah. Some 9 to 5 jobs will get you money, but otherwise, like college, unless you finna be a doctor or something, that's just a waste of time and money.
Right. So like you actually graduated this year, like 2019.
Yeah.
So are you going to college?
Hell no, I might go to MATC just to drop out.
Why don't you want to go to college?
Shit, I don't really think you need it in 2019. A lot of people got money without going.
So what is your thoughts on schooling?
Schooling, to be honest, in high school and stuff, they don't really teach you anything that's worth your time. It's just all just them teaching you stuff you don't need to know like that.
So you weren't really into school growing up?
No.
How was your academics growing up though?
It was easy, but then I didn't care anymore.
What's like the craziest thing? So you've been living for 18 years, almost 19. What's like the craziest thing you ever encountered, like obstacle in your life so far?
Craziest thing was, Shit, probably just losing money and trying to get it all back.
What's like the craziest way you've lost money?
Oh shit! One time, my own family and shit stole from me. I was freshman year.
How did you react to that?
I was just like, damn, that shit crazy. After all I did for them.
What's like the craziest thing you spent money on?
Shit, I don't even know. I be buying a lot of bullshit now. But,
Yeah, I know. I see on social media you buy a lot of things. That's why, like,
yeah.
that's the crazy thing that's about.
Shit, probably the craziest thing I ever spent money on was probably some food. To be honest, shit don't be worth it sometimes.
Right. What's like? Do you have any money regrets?
The only money regrets I really got is helping people out that I shouldn't have.
Well, like, what's your regret about that? Like, give us more like that regret.
Some people was just like cool with niggas for money and shit, gave them some money, then they spent that shit and that shit was dead. Couldn't really help them out no more. They changed up.
So how do you go about giving out money now?
Shit, really, I only give out money to like 2 people, or I just get them like what they say they need and buy it for them, so they don't spend it on stupid shit.
Right. So it seems like you have a smaller circle.
Yeah.
Are you like is anybody in your circle like your family member, or it's just like cool people around you?
Really, I'm cool with like one person. I mean, I speak to some of my family that one time I'm cool with my niece, and that's about it.
No, so I see you said you spend money on a lot of food. Like what like type of food do you buy? Like do you go out to eat lobster and stuff like that, fancy restaurants? What type of food are you talking about? Like what expensive foods are like crazy things you spend on food?
Once I first started getting a little bit of money, I was into all the little fancy places like Benihana and Carson's and shit. But to be honest, that shit not worth it. It's just for the name.
See, like I've been to Benihana, and I'm not a fan of it either.
Yeah.
Benihana, I feel like it's overrated. Some people like it, some people enjoy it, but I just think it's overrated. What's like your favorite restaurant, or let's not say restaurant, like fancy restaurant, like going out to eat? What's your favorite place?
Going out to eat, I don't really be going out to eat like that. I usually only be going to fast food places if I'm eating out. Or, sometimes I'll be going over my nigga house and shit. His mama be cooking. That shit be good.
So, do you have any recommendations for people, like some places to go? Because you've been to LA, you've been to New York, you've been all around the United States at a young age, eating in these top 5-star places. What's some recommendations you have for people if you go out of state or even in your city? What's some recommendations for food places?
Really, it's just about whatever you like. Don't like if you LA or Miami or something, they soul food not good at all. You might as well go to the Midwest if you want that or down south.
So you enjoy Midwest food more than?
Yeah.
I mean, I've eaten on the East Coast. I don't really like it too much. I feel like the Midwest is better than like the East Coast or West Coast. Down south is pretty good too. Do you like down south food?
Yeah, it's good.
Right. Yeah, I don't really mess with the coast food, the coast food either. But so you said you spend a lot of money on food. Basically, you just have like a high spending habit, like.
Oh yeah, I was always known for that. Everyone always just, I don't know, they just expect they to spend the money.
So did you get a lot of hate from that growing up?
Oh yeah, a lot of people. I was in high school and shit. All them niggas was fake. They all hated on me because I was doing better than them. But shit.
So yeah, a lot of people talk about the hate in life in high school. Like that's like the most common one. Like how did you deal with that in high school?
I really just cut plenty of people off and didn't really talk to nobody.
So how did the fakeness come to be? Like what was the like? Give us an example of like some fake things going on in high school or in your life right now.
Well, shit, I can't really go into the full situation, but someone was pillow talking and shit to some girl. And I'm not gonna talk about me and that girl relationship, but I wasn't really. I was cool with her, but I ain't go with her. Man, she kind of just, I don't know. You could work for me, you could say.
Work for you, like a pimp work for you?
No, I can't talk about none of that in the interview.
Okay, so a lot of hate going on in high school. Is it still hate going on now?
Shit, I don't really be paying attention to what people do.
Okay, so how do you deal with the hate? Do you just ignore it?
I just be laughing. Cause like really if something happen, I'll just leave the state and be rolling, talk a little bit of shit here and there.
So do you enjoy your city? Like, is it a place you want to be forever, or like what are you gonna do for future living?
I ain't gonna lie, I fuck with the city and shit, but it's really not a lot of opportunities like that for people out here. So you really gotta get out the state. But I come back and shit a lot.
So you talked about relationships with females in high school. What's your opinion on relationships, especially being a young person? Like as you right now, you're 18. What's your thoughts on relationships for younger people?
For younger people, that shit's stupid. Don't waste your time.
Have you ever been in a relationship?
No, I ain't gonna lie. None of these females was really serious. They was all just funny game.
So, you're not into relationships. You've never been into any. Do you recommend people to be in relationships, or like, what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, if you got the right girl, yeah. But really, in Milwaukee, it's not really that many bad girls or girls that you can really mess with like that. It's like a big three though.
So, like, I've heard about like Florida, California have the best looking girls. Some in Texas, New York. I've never really heard like about females in the Midwest, especially in Wisconsin. I'm not really too familiar with that city. So maybe do you think it's because of the city you're in, or is it just the people, like personality? What do you think it is?
It's a little bit of both. I feel like personality, they all just be worried about the wrong shit, and looks and stuff. I don't know. You just in Wisconsin, you can't really just be cold like that.
So is the city you're around, is that like a factor on the way people act?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So what are people like in like Wisconsin, Southeast area?
It's a lot of it's a lot of fake cracking ass niggas around. It's a lot of like everyone really just in this shit for fake or for social media, trying to impress people.
So do you have any advice for like people like growing up, like younger people if they're watching this? Do you have any like advice for them?
Be careful who you cool with and make sure you spend your money, start investing at a young age.
Well, shit, man. Thanks for coming out here to NYC.
Yeah.
First time being an All-American. You know what I'm saying? We thank you for coming out here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to this video. And we'll be back for more.
Yeah.
When he got his first interview in, and that bitch
job interview.